In less than 10 seconds, a bridge that had stood for decades was simply gone, swept away by a wall of brown water moving faster than anyone had ever seen. That is how quickly nature shifted in Shimen County, China, in the early hours of May 18th, 2026. And that bridge was only the beginning. Nestled in the Wuling Mountains of northwestern Hunan Province, Shimen County is a region of steep peaks, narrow river valleys, and small, tightly knit communities. On the evening of May 17th, a powerful storm system moved in and refused to let go. Through the night and into the early hours of May 18th, rainfall intensified to levels that local records had never captured before. By the time meteorologists tallied the numbers, the county had received between 339 and 363 millimeters of rain in a single 24-hour period. At one station, the heaviest hour brought 58 millimeters of rain. Not in a day, not in a morning, but in 1 hour. The two communities hardest hit were Hupingshan Town and Suoji Township. These are mountain towns, the kind where rivers run close to homes, where roads cling to hillsides, and where the land rises sharply in every direction. When rain falls at that rate in terrain like this, the water has nowhere to go but down, and fast. Residents say the Xieshui River, which winds through this region, began rising at a pace that was almost impossible to believe. At the Shuanghe monitoring station, the river peaked at a level more than 4.5 meters above any previously recorded flood. At the Yanqi station, the rise was even more dramatic. The water climbed more than 12 meters in a matter of hours, shattering the historical maximum by nearly 2 meters. Both stations issued red flood warnings, the highest level possible. By 2 o'clock in the morning, floodwaters were surging through streets, filling the ground floors of homes and shops, then the second floors, and in some places, the third. Vehicles were carried off roads, livestock were swept away. And that iron suspension bridge in Suoji Township, a structure people had crossed without a second thought for years, was gone in roughly 10 seconds, captured on video by stunned onlookers. In the middle of all of this chaos, one story stands out for what it says about the people of this region. In Nisha community, a 70-year-old deaf grandmother, living alone, found herself trapped on the second floor of her home as floodwater filled the level below her. She could not hear the warnings. She could not call for help, but her neighbors could see her light. A local community leader named Wu Changji and a small group of residents launched a boat in the dark, in the middle of a raging flash flood, and brought her safely to shore. A nearby hotel owner then opened his doors and sheltered her, along with more than 10 other stranded residents, free of charge through the night. It is easy, in a disaster of this scale, to focus only on the numbers. But moments like this are what disasters also reveal, the instinct people have to turn toward one another when everything else is falling apart. Across town, the Xieshui Central School was completely submerged. Classrooms, hallways, and grounds all lost beneath murky floodwater. But because local officials had issued early warnings and acted quickly, every single student and teacher had already been evacuated to safety. The school was a total loss. The people inside it were not. The response from authorities was swift. Shimen County activated a Level 2 flood emergency, the second highest tier, and Hunan Province raised a Level 4 natural disaster response. Fire and rescue teams were deployed across the county. A team of 100 specialized rescue workers, along with boats and equipment, arrived from Changsha, the provincial capital, to assist with evacuations and search operations. In total, more than 18,000 people were moved to safety, evacuated from their homes, and taken to shelters where food, water, and basic care were provided. Vulnerable residents, including the elderly, were prioritized. By the afternoon of May 18th, water levels in the worst affected areas had begun to slowly recede, and crews were working to restore power, water, and communications that had been cut off overnight. As of the evening of May 18th, officials confirmed one person had died and 2 others were still missing. Those numbers are expected to be updated as assessments continue. Dozens of roads and bridges remain closed or damaged. The full scale of destruction to homes, farmland, and infrastructure is still being calculated. Scientists and local water authorities have described this event as a compound flash flood, an extreme convergence of factors that made it uniquely dangerous. Intense storm cells dropped rainfall at rates the terrain simply cannot absorb. The Xieshui River, a fast-moving mountain waterway, responded almost immediately, rising at a speed and height that exceeded anything in recorded history. Add steep slopes, thin soils, and narrow valleys, and you have conditions where disaster can escalate in minutes, not hours. This event did not happen in isolation. Across China and around the world, meteorologists are tracking an increase in the frequency and intensity of extreme rainfall events, storms that push past historical ceilings and overwhelm systems designed for what we used to call once-in-a-generation conditions. What happened in Shimen County this week is a sobering reminder that those ceilings may need to be rethought. The waters in Shimen County are receding. The roads will be cleared. The bridges will eventually be rebuilt. But the communities that lived through the night of May 17th and 18th will carry this experience with them for a long time. The grandmother rescued by her neighbors. The school that survived because someone issued a warning in time. And the bridge that lasted 10 seconds against a river that had decided it was done waiting. Our thoughts remain with everyone still affected. If you want to stay informed about ongoing relief and recovery efforts in Hunan Province, links and updates are in the description below. And if this kind of in-depth coverage matters to you, please consider subscribing. It helps us keep bringing you stories that deserve to be heard.